There is now an investigation into the incident at the Cincinnati Zoo in which a gorilla was killed in order to protect a boy who had fallen into the gorilla enclosure. Chris Lewis is here, defense attorney from cranelewis.com. All right, Chris, there's people calling for the heads of the parents, people that want to go after the zoo, the guy that shot him from the zoo. I mean, this whole thing's a mess.
It's an absolute mess. I think everybody needs to employ a little bit of common sense and take a step back. We've just gotten way too litigious with everything, and unless something comes out that is really damning about how grossly negligent the parents were, I don't see there being any criminal charges coming down the pipe.
Do you think there should be? Or why should the parents be let off?
Well, I don't know that they're being let off, and, you know, I've got a little bit of a unique perspective in that I've got twin 3-year-olds and a 5-year-old.
And one of them jumped into a gorilla cage in Fort Worth?
You know, I've got 2 out of the 3 that would jump into a gorilla cage. But, you know, we don't know how long. It doesn't take any time for your attention to be diverted. I think these parents, they've got 4 kids, and then for a kid to be gone. We've all experienced that. What everyone's up in arms about is where the kid ended up. And who would have ever thought that you can take a kid to a kid-friendly place, a zoo, a place that markets for kids, and in a very short period of time, a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old can get into an encasement or some sort of pen with the dangerous animal.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the issue is. How was this child able to so easily and so quickly get into an area with this giant gorilla?
And it's funny, there's no video of that. You would think that there'd be more video that the zoo had hit cameras around to even watch the crowd, making sure that nobody does do that.
You know, I think that's true. And I know that they've had this particular exhibit for 30-some-odd years. They've had no incidents, but they had an incident not too long ago with polar bears. We had an incident in Dallas years ago where there was a gorilla that actually escaped and was on the loose in the city. So it's happened across the country, and you know that they're going to be subject to lawsuits and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So for their own protection, you would think that there would be an ample amount of security cameras or cameras around so that we have undeniable evidence about what happened.
All right, let me ask you this one. Okay, Chris, so the parents come to you, and they say, our little boy got in there, and he got hurt from that gorilla. We want to sue the zoo. Would you take that case?
The parents of the kid that got in?
Yeah.
No way.
Why?
No way, because, well, what's going to happen, so a jury would, if it ever made it to a jury, would determine who was at fault. Was it foreseeable that a child could get in there? But what's going to happen is the parents that bring the suit, and you've seen it on social media, and social media, for all of its warts, is a good gauge of what public sentiment is going to be. And that's what we have in juries. For the same people that say the zoo's at fault, they're going to point fingers at the family and say, "Where were y'all?"
Yeah, but you couldn't you as an attorney, you say, "Okay, I want to make this case out a year. Everybody will forget." And then you're going to have pictures of that short fence, that teeny fence, and that little boy, that scared little boy as he was being dragged around, and the mama crying. Oh, you could turn a jury around, couldn't you?
I guess the question would be, what are the damages? Because the boy, he might have been scared to death, but he's alive.
PTSD, he'll never be the same. He's 4 years old.
Well, yeah, of course. So that would be a good argument. I just don't see it being. I think what the family should do is the family should implore the zoo, not go after money, but implore the zoo to make sure, and this is the narrative, make sure that another kid doesn't have to suffer this. Make sure that you question. You don't rely on this 30-something years of everything being great. You question everything, and you say, are our patrons going to be safe?
All right, let me ask you one more. Here's one other part of this lawsuit I think would really make you some money. When the kid was down there, the mom had a coffee from McDonald's, spilled it on her lap. She needs to sue McDonald's too. It's too hot.
I think that's great. You always go for the deep pocket. Let me just take a step on this, since you brought up the McDonald's thing. People need to revisit the McDonald's deal. It was a lot of money, but McDonald's, my understanding from doing a little research on it, McDonald's had been warned over and over and put on notice over and over. So what the jury did is the verdict, the amount of money, was representative of what McDonald's makes, their profit, one day selling coffee.
Ah, okay. So they're making a lot of profit on coffee then.
They are making a lot of money on coffee.
All right. Hey, I sure appreciate you, Chris Lewis, cranelewis.com. He's an attorney. Thanks for being here on Trending Today USA.